Good
Good morning,
morning.
Lisa. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Yeah, you
Good.
must be exhausted with
Um,
everything that you've been doing. And kudos to you for finishing another 24 absolutely spectacular, mind-blowing, amazing bakes during the Bake Along for season 9 of Great Canadian Baking Show. If
Thank you.
our viewers have not seen your amazing creations over the last 8 weeks, I highly recommend you seeing that. So go directly to Lisa's page, stories, in
Stories told in sugar.
thank you, thank
You're
you. My
welcome.
brain's still not working this morning, still on my second cup of coffee here. So, but
Well,
yeah,
thank
but
you.
kudos, like incredible passion
Thank you.
and commitment, and the wrap up reel that you did and posted was just spectacular. So
Thank you so much. I don't feel that all the bakes were spectacular, but it was really good to be able to give myself that grace and be like, this is not what I had in mind, or this is taking too long. I'm going to stop here or whatever. But just to challenge myself with doing all those bakes over the last 8 weeks, it's it's really fun for me, and it's such great practice to do other things other than just the chocolate cake that people order all the time or the cupcakes. So thank you. I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me that you are so enthusiastic about it because
oh my goodness. Well, that's what, this is how we originally connected as well, right? Because I started following your journey a number of years ago when I saw that you were doing this. And I'm
bake
like,
along.
wow, somebody does this? Like, that's incredible. And so I've been following along, in awe for a number of years. And that's how we
Yeah.
connected originally.
Yeah.
So it's been really cool. And I think what's really even more impressive is that you're a one and done bake as well,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So unlike a lot of the bakers, well, I mean, I'm sure maybe some of them do the one and done as well, but I mean, you are doing these like you don't have access to the briefs ahead of time. So you watch the show and then that week you're pulling off three bakes. No
Hmm.
practice, no really time to mull things over and brainstorming the various ideas. I mean, it's a very, very quick and short timeline
Hmm. Yeah.
that you do this with. And so your creative mind and the execution that you do is, again, so inspiring and yeah, just mind blowing.
Thank you. I feel like I've really come a long way as a baker, and partially because of doing this bake along for the last, I think it's 6 seasons now that I've been doing.
Wow.
Just because of the fact that I've pushed myself and that I say, okay, if it's not working, I mean, there were a couple of exceptions over the years where I tried it, it didn't work, and I was like, no, I'm bound and determined that I'm going to conquer this, and I would do it again until it worked. But for the most part, yeah, I decide what I want to do. I find recipes, create recipes, throw things together, and then I'm like, okay, however this turns out is what it's going to be. Because I don't need to spend time and money. I'm not on the show. I'm not practicing for the show, although I guess kind of in a roundabout way I am, but not officially practicing for the show. Um, and nobody's forcing me to do this. Like,
Yeah.
this is only me. I'm only challenging myself, and I'm the only person that I'm actually going to let down or disappoint. Although I do know there are some people who will watch the show. They'll save it till later in the week. They'll watch the show and then they'll come to my Instagram to see what I baked for that week. So that's kind of cool.
That
I would
is
like it
super
if
cool.
yeah, I like that people are interested in doing that. So,
I think you have a ton of fans of your work and how you, yeah. So yeah, again,
ah, thank you.
mad, mad, mad props to you, my friend, and
Thanks.
congratulations on and another incredible season of Great
Wow.
Canadian Baking Show Bakes.
Thank
And
you.
and I feel very confident that at some point you're going to be able to do that in the tent. And I cannot wait until that day comes.
Thank you so much.
Hopefully it's much sooner than later.
I hope so. That would be wonderful. I would really love that. I think if either one of us gets in there, we're just going to be so excited and cheering the other one on.
Oh,
Yeah, one of these days,
your
for both
number
of
one
us.
fan. I'll have a sign.
Yeah. Maybe I should have you, if I ever do get into the 10, I'll have you come and be my family at the end.
Ah, that would be so cool. That I
Oh,
could, I
if I
would,
even make it to the end, what am I saying? Gee willikers. Okay. Anyway, let's move
hey,
on.
manifest it, my friend, manifest it all.
I think
So,
that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been working on these
yeah,
past 6 years. So
nice. Awesome.
anyway, I can't believe that our season is done. That not only my bakes, but the actual show that's airing, is done. The finale aired. We got to do our finale scrap recap. We got to talk to Ryan and Joe, which was fantastic. And now we return to our regularly scheduled programming
Programming. And
just for a couple weeks.
yes, and then we're going to take a little bit of a break for
Mhm.
the holiday season
Yes.
and be back with much more fun and awesome content and more wonderful guest interviews
Mm,
in the 2026. Unbelievable.
that is crazy. I can't believe that.
No,
Yes.
same, same.
And so today we are going to be sharing our interview with Adela Mou from the Great American Baking Show. And she was so wonderful.
Oh, what a
I
sweetheart.
I just was instantly captivated. As soon as we started chatting with her, I just was like, "Oh, she's so great. I
I
love her.
know.
She's wonderful, you know?"
Yeah, just like a beautiful bundle of energy and talent, all wrapped up in just such a beautiful soul. And
Yes.
yeah,
Cute little
again,
package too.
the yeah, the joy, and I love her Canadian connection as
Yes.
well. So the whole thing was just it. Yeah, she is such a joy, and we hope that you enjoy our chat with Adela.
Enjoy. Welcome, Adela. Now, can you
Can you
still
hear
hear
her?
us?
Yes, I can still hear you. Okay, I don't know what happened before.
That's
That's
okay.
all good.
Magic.
System IT glitches. We are the queens of IT glitches.
We've been
Yeah,
doing
Zoom
really
never works
well
when you
for a
want it to.
while. It was just
Uh,
the first season that was really
a
crappy.
little glitchy, but
We
it's
had to
all
learn
good.
to do everything, and we didn't know anything about podcasting or any of the equipment or programs we were using. So,
I know, what a fun thing to learn.
yeah, it has been.
Sure, we'll call it fun. No, it's been such a treat actually. But yeah, frustrating at times. Like when we first started, it was absolutely hilarious actually, because we just be like, our microphone wasn't turned on, you know?
Yeah, the dumbest
Like
little things.
weird things.
Oh, we were just talking to ourselves.
Exactly,
That's
right?
right. Yeah,
Oh
at least
well,
now we can have real conversations with actual people, and
right?
it works almost every time. So
Yeah,
Fingers crossed.
interesting.
We'll keep it going.
keep
So
it going.
it looks nice and pleasant where you are. Beautiful top that you have on,
Yes.
and I love the earrings. How cute
Oh,
are
thank
those?
you. Yes, it's actually pretty nice here. It's like I'm trying to do the math. It's like maybe 22,
Okay, okay,
23
perfect.
degrees.
Perfectly pleasant.
Wow, thank you
Mhm.
for Canadianizing that for us.
Yes.
Well, my husband is Canadian and his whole family is in Ontario. So I feel like I'm constantly doing the Celsius to Fahrenheit translation in my head.
Oh, yes, because we don't understand it. Well, maybe Christina does. I don't know.
I have to do the math. There's a formula, right? You divide, what is it? You might, so you
Minus
take,
30 divided by 2-ish.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah.
And then that works like decently well. But, Josh's, my husband, I feel like his parents used Fahrenheit when they were
Okay.
younger. And so they
Right.
still
Yes, they,
understand Fahrenheit but then it's like everyone his age only
Yeah.
does Celsius.
I
yeah,
mean,
I remember when it switched. I was in elementary school when it switched from the imperial to the metric system. So it was quite interesting. But we
but we're so strange. We have such a weird conglomeration.
Mishmash.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
really a
because
mishmash.
depending on what it is, I mean, we still have like our fruits and our produce prices are still in pounds.
Hmm.
But our deli meats are in grams, which is interesting. And I think people just interchange it anyway
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
them.
definitely. And I mean, when you're talking about kilometers and stuff, well, we never say kilometers, we say how long it takes to get somewhere. We just say hours or minutes. you know?
Depending on time of day, of course, if we're talking
Yes,
about traffic in the city.
definitely.
But
Yes.
baking, always grams. We
Yes,
Yes. 100%.
now
yes,
grams.
Okay, it's
right.
the universal language.
Yes.
But you know,
Baking.
it's amazing though how much flack some bakers get. Like I see posts on Instagram and people who graciously share their recipes online with people, and they could be in grams. And then there are always those comments from people that are like, "Can you do it in cups?" You know,
I know. That one's always tough because you're like, if you need me to make this into cups, and this one might not be for you.
Mm.
fair, 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 right?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
You
And then you have
who's
the
to
people
say?
in the UK who are like, what is a cup? Like it's totally different measuring system.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, grams are just best.
Yes. Well, best because it doesn't
Say
matter.
it with my chest as I sit here in my sweater with a blanket on my lap because it's not because
It's
Canada
not,
is cold. It's just
no.
because the heat registers in this house have not been turned on yet since my husband switched them over and I left the windows open all night. So I'm trying to warm
Oh,
myself.
chili.
It's
Yeah.
a
Well,
little
I'm
one.
wondering when I auditioned for the American Bake Off, one of the test questions was how many grams is a stick of butter? Did you guys get the same question?
No, I don't. We didn't
Oh,
have
interesting.
No,
any questions like that.
Oh,
no.
really? We got a little
No.
like verbal test.
Whoa.
Really? Huh.
Hmm.
No. I didn't.
No.
I wonder if we had gotten further, maybe if they would have
No,
tested
that
No,
was
I've
that
not.
was
on the
before
application.
the that was before you even do the tastings.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. No,
yeah,
I guess
no.
maybe they automatically assume, and I guess maybe makes a big difference because you actually are baking in the UK. And I would imagine like all the technical recipes specifically would be in probably grams. So
Hmm.
maybe that's why
Yeah,
that
but we
would be
get
a thing.
that question. We got a few other questions, which I don't know if I should divulge all of them, or else they're going to have to change the test. But it was like around your baking knowledge. It
Yeah.
was just, it was like, oh, you bake a medium amount, you should be able to answer the majority of these questions.
Yeah.
Right.
But it was funny because it was like, oh, how many grams is a stick of butter?
Stick
I'm
of
like, oh, I know, it's 113 grams.
Yeah.
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 I'm like, that's a half a cup.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like
I know. I was doing
dividing
the same thing.
454 by 4.
Yeah,
All
because
right.
in Canada, we don't often get sticks of butter. It
Yes.
sometimes they do come. Like there are a few butters that package it in the sticks, in 113 grams per stick. But most of the time, you get the full solid pound 1 pound block
Hmm.
or 454
54.
grams of butter.
Yeah. They're more
So,
expensive if they're packaged like individually wrapped sticks and then in a
mhm,
box. So
mhm.
we
Yeah.
don't need to
Yeah, I
spend any
always
more money on butter than we
no.
already do.
I understand that just because like I'm often baking in my husband's family's home for
Right.
like Thanksgiving and Christmas. So
Nice.
uh, flipping back and forth between like American and Canadian ingredients and packaging styles too, like a
Yeah.
Yeah. Do
bag of milk.
you notice a big difference? The bag milk. We don't have bag milk here.
No.
Oh yes, Ontario's bags of milk.
So
I mean,
weird.
obviously everyone has their flour brand. In Canada,
Mhm.
it's the Robin Hood. So everything's, just like a little bit different protein wise, but in general,
Right.
everything is pretty comparable.
Yeah. When you were in the UK, did you find the ingredients to be quite a bit different? Or again, were you able to find things that would work with the recipes that you'd had developed before going on to the show?
Um, Yeah, it is actually kind of difficult. So we got some time in the UK to test every recipe. So we got there maybe like 5 days ahead of time. So you could sort of get used to the grocery stores. I mean, you also have to get over jet lag, obviously. And then you need to test your first episode's bakes with the UK ingredients. And I feel like the biggest difference is the dairy because
Mhm.
their dairy fat percentages are very, very different than the US is because they don't really have what we would call heavy cream. They have a single cream and then they have a double cream. And single cream has less fat than heavy cream, and double cream has more fat than heavy cream. So there's not really like the same idea. So you have to do it's essentially it's like 2/3 double cream, 1/3 heavy cream
Mm,
or single cream
Or a single
to
cream.
get to our heavy cream. But I remember just even getting to that point, like I try to just use their double cream to make whipped cream, and it whips like in 5 seconds. You just make butter.
yeah.
Oh,
Like it
wow.
'Cause
whips
it
too
is,
fast.
yeah. Because what is the percentage of their double cream? I can't remember.
It's like I forget, it's like 30 something,
Okay.
high 30s, I think.
Okay.
And so it's yeah, it was it's such a stressful time and that
Yeah.
like any little thing is going to set you off. And me trying to just make heavy cream out of single cream and double cream made me have a meltdown in my
Oh,
apartment and cry because
oh no.
I was like, well,
Oh,
I can't even make whipped cream.
Oh
I
no.
mean,
But
that's the first thing that I thought of when I was thinking, okay, what would it be like to come from North America and to be basically sent to England and being put in this tent and told to bake with UK ingredients? And the first thing I thought of was the cream. Because in Scotland, I remember trying to make caramel and being like, why don't they have any cream here? What's going on? Like the double cream, yes, but that is very
Yeah.
different. Yeah.
And then the butter is like very
mhm,
high fat. It's, it's European butter. And so it's
Mm.
much nicer. But then if
mhm.
you're making a buttercream, it's going to melt at a different temperature than if you were to use like an American butter. So there's little differences. And then molasses, which is like very easy to get in North America, I feel, is not very like common
Mm,
in the UK. We had to go to essentially like a health store, like a nutritional store, and they happened to sell molasses. So all of us were like in there buying them out of all of the molasses. I'm sure they were like, who are these people?
yeah. Why is everybody all of a sudden, why is there a run on molasses?
Yeah, yeah, it's very strange. I'm like, if I could go back a year and tell myself to bring something to UK, I would be like, bring some molasses.
Yes.
Oh, well, there, that's actually really a good tip
A
for
good tip.
future bakers if they're gonna
Yes.
do something with like a gingerbread or a sticky toffee pudding or something like that.
Hmm.
Things
Yeah,
that you'd make.
definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Or
well,
if you
let's
made a shoe
backtrack.
fly pie, isn't that molasses?
Shoe pie.
Shoe fly pie?
Was that one of the questions that we had on that other application? Yeah,
Yeah.
they were asking us about American desserts, and we were like,
Oh, I don't even know that.
"Oh, okay."
Yeah. Okay, so I don't feel so bad then.
No, that's like very Southern, I feel.
I
It
think,
must be.
yeah,
It must
I think
be.
it has to
Yeah.
be. Yeah,
All
it
right,
has to be.
let's back up a
Yes,
little bit. So, Adela, welcome to the show.
Yes.
Thank
thank
you for
you.
joining us. Please give our listeners and our watchers a little bit of information about who you are and what kind of life you led before suddenly, as a hobby baker, you ended up on the Great American Baking Show.
Sure. Well, my name is Adela. I grew up in the West Coast in California, in LA, and I did most of my school in Northern California, but I came out east for university and I've been out east ever since, the east of the US. I live in
Never
New
left.
York. Yeah, never left. I've been in New York now for almost 20 years, which I
Wow.
think makes me like a proper New Yorker now.
Yep.
Mhm. I would say so.
Uh,
I think
and I
I
live in
think that
Brooklyn.
qualifies.
Yeah, 20 years, I think they'll give it to me. They'll give me
Yeah.
the title. And I live here with my husband Josh and our dog Uni.
Oh,
And I'm a data analyst by day. I'm usually in spreadsheets and doing math. And at night, I'm a hobby baker.
Nice.
awesome, except for the math. I'm glad somebody does it because I just don't ever want to.
Hmm.
Well, now the computer does most of the math, I would
That's
say.
true.
That is.
That's true. Yeah, I would imagine with everything with all the programs and apps and AI now, does that make that your day job a little less stressful or your
Yeah,
head
I
hurt
mean,
a little less?
our job is really to wrangle data and then interpret it so
Mhm.
that the business can use that in order to do what they need to do, whether it's to do their day to day or to make things better. And so a lot of the technology, it helps to speed up the the beginning steps of that process, and allows you a little more room to just interpret the data and then work with team members on how to use it. So
Yeah.
that's a little bit of how things are changing now with AI. But I mean, we're like at the very front of really using that in
Mhm.
all of the things we do at work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what kind of industry are you in then? And what?
I've been in like a bunch of industries. I've always been in tech startups.
Okay.
My kind of one of my first jobs was working at a food delivery aggregator called Seamless, kind of similar to Just Eat or like Uber Eats.
Mhm.
But that was, like when that was new, when like ordering food on an app was crazy.
Yeah. It's come so far, right?
It's in
Yeah.
such short time. It's
Yeah.
And now
amazing.
there's like 20 of them, and there's like one that's like specific to pizza and like yeah, it's crazy. So I worked in food delivery for a little bit, and then I've worked on restaurant tech, doing uh, like a reservation management software, and now I work in lending for UTVs, ATVs, like power sports equipment. It's still a
Very
tech
cool.
company,
Yeah.
but yes, it's a very different industry than what I've done before. But that's why I like what I do, because I can
Mhm.
kind of jump around from different industries,
Totally.
and what I do is like applicable no matter what.
Yeah,
Yeah,
never get
absolutely.
bored.
Skill set so incredibly transferable and yeah. And the data, I mean, is really important and to determine where you go next in your business and it tells the story, right? So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a fun. It's fun. I think it's fun.
good.
Not everyone thinks it's fun. I will say, like on the Bake Off, I looked so so ridiculous because in our B-roll they made me, be on an Excel file and take like a fake meeting, and I was like, well, I can't really show a real data set because that would be bad. And so
Yeah.
I had to make like some random fake data that looks so obviously fake. It's just like ones and zeros, basically. And I'm on a phone call just being like, yeah, yep, it went up 35%.
This binary code went up
That's
30.
hilarious.
Yeah, it was so awkward. I'm like, I really hope they don't use this. And I'm like, of course they use that.
Of course they would.
But nobody's looking at the numbers on the spreadsheet, right? Unless maybe they were a data analyst and they're like zooming in or whatever, having a look.
Oh,
What
I
are
know.
the
But
numbers?
everyone else on our season, they had such cool hobbies. They're like, um, Alma is making cars and racing them. We have people who are in like bowling leagues and people with beautiful gardens. Milo Baxter was like, Adela works with data and lives in New York. And I just was like, wow, I'm really boring outside of baking.
You live in New York. That was the go-to. That's
Oh,
exciting.
that's the exciting thing.
That's
Yeah, it
the
was like
exciting thing.
look at her dog and look at the New York skyline and just sort of forget everything else.
Why not? Why not? But you're a baker, right? That's your hobby. That
Yes.
probably takes up a lot of your spare time, like you said, in the evenings, that's what you do.
And for you guys too, right?
Yeah,
Definitely.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Every spare moment, basically.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So how did you start baking originally? What got you into it?
So I did not grow up with anyone in my family who bakes. I'm Chinese, and my mom, she immigrated to America in her late 20s, and it just like it's not really a very common thing you do in a Chinese household. So I had never seen our oven used ever, like for anything. And so the first time I even like used an oven, I was working at Cold Stone Creamery, which I don't know if you have. It's an ice cream store, and we make ice cream cakes. And so you had to like bake the cakes out of like box mix, and then you would like make the ice cream cakes. So that's the first time I even understood like how cake kind of works. And so that was
Wow.
how I started baking. And I use baking in air quotes. And then I was like, oh, I feel like I should know like what's in this box mix. And it kind of started from there. So I learned actually how to design a cake and decorate a cake before I ever baked an actual cake from scratch.
Amazing.
You learned how to do it all, then you reverse engineered the cake mix, basically.
Yes, exactly. And then I had to think like, well, it's not ice cream. So like how do you make the thing that's not the ice cream to go into this cake?
That's fascinating. I never even thought about that, how, in a Chinese household that they wouldn't necessarily use the oven. Probably everything is just like a heat source underneath it
I
type
mean,
of
yeah, to
cooking,
this
right? Yeah.
day, my mom does not use her oven. Her oven is purely used for storage. If we ever like go and use her oven, we have to make sure that it even works, that
Oh,
the light is working.
and
Um,
take
Wow.
anything out of
yeah,
the oven before preheating it, because that
all of
could
the
be a disaster.
plates, all of the pans, got to take it out. So it definitely was something that I was so grateful for a lot of online resources to help with the learning process, and then also the British Bake Off, which I'm sure you guys are. I mean, I know you guys are huge fans of. I think
Huge.
seeing people who are like us, who are just like hobby bakers or home bakers, do these crazy things, and also learning the different mediums of baking. Like, oh, there's pastry, and then there's cake, cookie. Seeing it like split that way
Mhm.
Hmm.
made me understand baking better, and so it taught me a lot just by watching the show.
That's
I think
amazing.
it's done that for a lot of people, or at least like twigged that enjoyment of it and that cozy feeling of like, oh, this creating can be something that can bring me joy, and then I can bring other people joy through it. Because even us just
Hmm.
watching it brings so much joy, for sure.
Hmm.
And I feel
Amazing.
like COVID had a lot to do with that, inspiring a lot of people to not only watch the show, because obviously they had a lot of time on their hands during that crazy time, but also, once watching it, getting so hooked and hopefully inspired to get in their kitchens and try out different recipes. And you saw also just an influx of all of these amazing bakers coming on to Instagram and YouTube and
Hmm.
sharing their craft. And I think it's just such a beautiful community and a way of learning, and the support that you get from one another. It's a really truly special thing.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like COVID really got people, especially into sourdough.
Hmm.
If you remember like this huge sourdough
Yeah.
craze where everybody
Yep.
ran out of yeast
Yes.
because everyone had time on their hands. I mean, I
That
definitely was
was
like, oh,
so
I should learn how to make
frustrating.
sourdough.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
no yeast.
Oh man, I was like, because I was not at home. I'm a nurse, so I was
Oh, yes.
I was working a lot. But I still wanted to bake when I was at home, and then all of a sudden everybody was baking bread, and there was no yeast to be found anywhere. My poor husband is going around scouring all the stores. No toilet paper, no yeast. Gosh, what are we gonna do? You know, it's just
How do you
terrible.
find time to bake as being a nurse?
Well, I'm part-time now, so I just kind of carve it out. I get up pretty early in the morning. It's inspirational for me to get started. Like if my kitchen is a mess, if I'm sitting
Hmm.
on the couch having coffee, then I'm just going to leave it a mess. But if I get up and I start baking something, then I'm going to clean my kitchen. So
Oh, smart.
it like forces me to stay on top of the housekeeping.
It's
Well,
always
that's a good.
interesting to me. It's like when people fit baking into their day, when,
Mm.
baking is not their job, especially with bread. Like when I first learned how to make sourdough, I'm like, who has time for this?
Oh,
Like it
yeah.
takes like 2 days, 2.5 days.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I think
Yeah.
with sourdough, though, it's not like a lot of time that you take to do each of the individual steps. It's just a lot of like, do this and then
Yeah.
wait
Hmm.
for hours, and then do
Wait and wait
this
and
and
wait,
then
and
wait.
hopefully be
And
home at
then,
the correct time.
so yeah. So, but
Yes.
it is a commitment though, in terms of having to kind of be at home for, to time all the different folds and the fermentation and, whatever, the cold fermentation, and then everything that goes into it. So
Let it be
Yeah.
known I do not do sourdough. I did
Yes,
for a
because you
while.
cannot predict your schedule that closely. I
yeah.
mean, sometimes I am in my calendar being like, all right, this is when I'm going to put the dough in, and then
Mhm.
12 hours from that, am I going to be home to take it out and then to do the next the next 10 steps?
Exactly.
Totally.
It's too
Totally.
much. I
Yeah.
don't have the patience for that. I'd rather make 10 different fondant figures than have to worry about sourdough. So then how did you
Oh.
get the idea to, or when did you start wanting to be on the Great American Baking Show? Or did you hear about it and go, "Oh, yep, that's my jam," instantly?
So I had actually watched the seasons where it was on, I think ABC. before it moved to Roku.
Mhm.
And so I remember those seeing those old seasons, and then there was a little bit of a break. Um, with the whole like Johnny Iuzzini scandal, which we don't speak his name much anymore. And then we, moved over to having Paul and Prue as the hosts or the judges. And so
Amazing.
that was when it came back, when I was like, oh, like American Baking Show is back. I would love to be on it. So I think I tried out for I think the first season when it moved to Roku. So I tried out for uh 3 seasons actually. The first one being like 2019, and then the second one being 2020, which I actually ended up being an alternate for.
Mm.
And so I got to like bake along halfway, and then that was sort of when we were like, is this gonna happen? Like, what is this COVID thing? It went from being like, oh, it'll be like 2, 3 weeks to, oh no, this
Yeah.
is probably going to be a little bit longer than that.
Mm.
Uh, and so that season got canceled or it never happened. And so then I ended up trying out for what became the 2025 season, but we filmed in 2024.
Wow.
That's incredible. And so when you got called to do the alternate position, then you got access to all the briefs then that all the bakers would have had. I assume you were prepping at home. Did you have to go over to England at all during that time, or did you just stay in New York during that time and just practiced at home?
Yeah, so the alternates do the same thing as all of the bakers do. They're for the American Bake Off, you have time at home to plan all of your bakes. And then, right when filming starts, basically a few days before, then you all head over to the UK. For that season, we didn't because that season got canceled because of COVID, but I would have, I think, gone to the UK. I think some alternates stay back and some go over to the
Okay.
UK. I have no idea how that process works because I never got there. But our alternates for our season, they baked along the whole time with us during the same exact schedule, and then they were treated pretty much exactly the same until we got to the UK, and then they stay through the first episode, and then if they're not on that episode, then they can go home.
Okay.
Wow. I
Wow.
never even thought about alternates.
It's a
Oh.
huge commitment. I mean, kudos to the alternates because I, it is not a it is a very stressful thing
Mm.
to be planning all your bakes at home, baking 24/7 and doing your day jobs, like, and you're not telling people what you're doing, you're not telling your work really um what's happening. And it's a huge time commitment. It's a little bit of a monetary commitment as well because the show gives you some support, but if you really want to go all out, you can probably outspend the budget if you wanted to. And then pack all your things, all your clothes, all the equipment that you're
Mhm.
going to need and fly to the UK as if you're going to be on the show and then sort of not to do that. It's a huge commitment, and it's amazing that they do it. And then they get a leg up next time. And then they really understand how the process really works.
Mhm.
I found that when I was an alternate, I was like, oh, like now I kind of understand how the actual baking process works if you're on the show. And it did help me understand what to expect going into the
Yeah.
season that I was actually on.
Yeah. Big
Yeah.
advantage, I would think.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And do you know if a lot of the alternates from previous seasons are one step closer to actually making it into the tent in future seasons as well? Do you know? I know that worked for you. You were an alternate for 1 year and then you had the
I think
opportunity to actually bake
I
in the
think
tent.
like you guys, the casting directors and the culinary directors, they know you now.
Mm.
And so they know to like call Lisa and Christina the next time the tryouts are happening. So I think it's that plus a little bit extra because you are showing them what you would have done
Mhm.
or the bake that eventually will be on TV, right?
Mhm.
So it's almost like an extra audition process where they can actually see the level of all of your showstoppers,
Yeah, that's
for
totally fair.
example. So I think they just know you a little bit better and they know to like call you. I don't think it's like a shoe in to get in for sure because it's just like I know people who are alternates who didn't end up being on the show, but just it gets you closer to the process.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a big commitment. I can
Mhm.
Yeah,
only
it's
imagine.
huge.
Mhm.
I mean, we do our sort of little bake-alongs, and we do our commitment to doing our recaps of the show every week when the Great
Hmm.
Canadian Baking Show is airing. But just the thought of having to go through all that and then being like, okay, now you go home. You don't even get to be on camera. It's like,
Yeah, it is.
ah,
It's heartbreaking for sure, but then you're like you do become really close friends with those folks too because they're there with you. We're all meeting each other all at once
yeah,
Mhm.
in the UK, and so they still are part of like our family,
That's
even the
cool.
alternates. Yeah.
yeah.
And family is a big part of the show. I find certainly in Canada, I think I saw that very much so on the American side as well. You know, you get these really strong bonds that are formed from just being together and going through the trauma
Yes.
of baking in the tent, trauma bonding. I think, yeah, it's beautiful to see that. And I think, you guys, certainly the final four I found, you guys had like this really cool bond and just that love for each other that really was evident.
Yeah, we're still really close. We're always on WhatsApp talking to each other. This summer, a lot of us went over to Chris. His family has a cabin in the Adirondacks. A few of us went up there for a weekend. So and it's lucky that a lot of us are in the Northeast, just kind of happen to
Mhm.
be. So it's easier to meet up. But yeah, we are really close. I think it helps that, well, one, obviously you share your love for baking.
Mhm.
I think that bonds us all, but
Mhm.
also, when they're casting the show, I think they're looking for people who are going to be like a complementary set of people. And
Yeah.
if they do their job really well, I think then they create people who are going to sort of naturally have chemistry with one another and be friends. So I think that's definitely true of our season. And I tell people it's like one of the best parts of being in this show is having the connections with not just the bakers in your season, but the bakers in prior seasons, or even people you just try out with. We
Mhm.
go to
Mhm.
LA to do our live trials. I mean, for you guys, for sure, like you guys found each other through this process.
Yeah.
That's
There are
true.
people I talk to who are never on the show, but like I just know from the audition process because I saw them every single year.
Yeah.
And that is by far the best part because, like, I would say the Canadian one, the American one, people who love baking love these shows, but it's not quite the British Bake Off. It's not, that kind of platform. So you're really doing it because you just love baking and you love
Yeah.
being around bakers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not
So
doing it to
true.
get famous.
Yeah.
It's so true.
Yeah,
It was
absolutely. Yeah.
always has been so nice when we have all these connections on Instagram, and then when we go to the auditions and we get to, especially since I'm on the island, and I have to take an hour and a half ferry to get to Vancouver, and then you get to see everybody there
Mhm.
that you have known from Instagram or from prior seasons when you're auditioning, and you get to just kind of have a
Reconnect.
little family reunion, you know?
Hmm.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
I enjoy the auditions. Well, no, I can't say I enjoy the auditions as much as I enjoy being on the show because I haven't gotten there yet. But, it's so wonderful to have those ties.
Mhm.
And that it
Yeah.
feels like family when we're talking to you or we're talking to Kim or
Yeah.
we're talking to any of these because those are the ties that bind, right? We understand why we love to create. And yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
it's wonderful.
So tell us a little bit about your time in the tent. I know, your Asian background. That came through in spades in a lot of your bakes through the weeks. Tell us about how you decided, because some of the combinations were really intriguing and interesting, and things that even Paul and Prue had never ever tried before. So tell us about taking
They're
those
British.
risks. Yeah.
Yeah. There are some things that Paul and Prue had never heard of, but they're just American.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Fair,
So there's a
fair.
little bit of translation that you even have to do from, being Americans, but you're baking for British judges.
Mhm.
So things like the New Jersey diner culture that Alma and Chris brought to the table, I think it's not like, that hard to grasp, but the difference between pork roll and Taylor ham, you have to sort of introduce these things to them so they
Mm.
understand the context for your bake. But for me, I think I love eating. That's where I get a lot of my flavor inspiration from. I love traveling, and when I do that, I'm always trying to find a different fruit or a different herb, a different vegetable, and I love that. I love that there's 30 different kinds of mangoes.
Mm.
Like I just
Yeah.
like and anytime you go to a new tropical island, you're like, oh, this is like a mango I've never seen. I really geek out over fruit. And so I wanted to just bring a little bit of that breadth of the world's flavors into the tent. And some of it is like, a little left field and kind of odd. And I tried to, make sure it's still delicious at the end of the day. But I wanted to just bring in flavors that I really like. And they're not all Chinese. I brought in some Korean, some
Mhm.
some Indian, and I'm by no means like an expert in those flavors, but they're just things that I love eating and I
Mhm.
wanted to put into my baking. And it is the way I bake at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, fish sauce, salted caramel.
Oh yeah. Yes. So I actually, oh, you know what? I was listening to your last podcast about the butter tarts,
Hmm.
and I'm team raisin, by the way. I think it needs like a little bit of texture in there.
Did you see Christina
Okay,
deflate right
that's
there?
okay. That's okay. That's okay.
Yes, I am team raisin. But if I were to like join or go to this like butter tart festival, I think
Yeah.
I would do a little fish sauce caramel in my butter tart and maybe like a little layer of apples over the top, to kind of
Mm.
make like a little
Yeah.
apple fish sauce caramel situation. I think that would be my out of the box one.
That would
But
definitely be out of the box.
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
not curry like I think someone did
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
in that festival. But yeah, I mean, I love that combination actually because it's a little bit umami. It brings the
Yeah.
salt. It's like a little play on the miso caramel idea, which got really popular.
Hmm.
And if you pair it with a little bit of Vietnamese spices,
Mm.
so star anise, cinnamon, it's such a beautiful combination. But yeah, they got me tasting the fish sauce on its own because I actually had not used the brand that they gave me
Oh,
on set.
okay.
So I wanted to see how salty it was or like the flavor. And so I don't recommend you take fish sauce straight to the face. That was a mistake.
But it does have such a beautiful umami kind of flavor and that almost like the texture of it too, right? I think it would just add like some velvetyness and whatnot to
Hmm.
the caramel too. So yeah. No, that
Yeah,
sounds
it
really
was,
intriguing.
I
Something
really
that I
like it.
feel
And
like I should try.
Yeah,
well, you
me
guys are on
too.
the West Coast, right? You have such great Asian food near you.
Yep.
It's like and all
Yes, we're
kinds of
so
Asian
lucky.
food.
I
Yeah.
think I avoided fish sauce in my cooking for a while because I just thought it sounded disgusting. And but then when I started using it, I'm just like, okay, well, it's a staple in my pantry now.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause it's just
Hmm.
amazing what it adds to
Hmm.
different meals, right?
Yeah.
Just
Just the depth of
a little bit
flavor.
into everything.
Mhm.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I can see how that would be really good in caramel.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, okay, I want to experiment.
Yes. Right?
Right?
A
Yeah.
little will do you.
Yeah, I bet. That's why it has that tiny little spout on it. It's not a big
Yes.
giant opening on the end. So
That's so true. That's so true. So, was there any particular bake that you were especially proud of?
Um, yes, there's two actually. So I'm gonna maybe answer two. My first one, which is one that I got a handshake on, which was at the very end. Like I didn't think it was gonna happen for me. And I was not expecting it, honestly, when we did our chocolate tarts, but I made a chocolate mint tart and it is for a friend of mine, Ricky, who passed the year before I went to the UK.
Mm.
and it's his favorite flavor profile. So it meant a lot to me. And I really wanted them to like it, because it, like, obviously it'd be so embarrassing if you're like, this is for my friend. And they're
Yeah.
like, it's awful. And you're like, oh,
Yes.
But it,
um, yeah, but they liked it a lot, and I got a handshake, which again was like not expecting.
Mhm.
And I kind of got like a little speechless. So I was like, oh, like I forgot this happens because I did
Yeah.
not think it was going to happen for me.
So wonderful. And I think Prue is even like, if Paul doesn't give her a handshake on this one,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
gonna be.
apparently she took a little slice home, and she asked for the recipe, which I was like, Prue, you can have whatever you want. You can invite me over. I'll make it for you whenever you want. Fly me to the UK.
That
So
is a
they really
compliment.
enjoyed that. Yeah. And I love it too. And I make it a lot now. But I'm actually really proud of something that like didn't go so well in the tent, which is like I had made a little elephant out of bread.
Yes.
And I'm not actually a big bread baker, even though, like I'm talking about sourdough. I'm like, who has time for all this like folding and whatnot? Uh, and so I really struggled getting an idea onto the plate for bread, because I I can like make some basic loaves, but like to shape it. And so I really just try to work within what I knew. It's like I wasn't going to do some crazy lion's head. I just like sort of knew that like that's not where my skill set lay. And so within my means, I made something that I was like, this is cute. I like it. She's cute.
Yeah.
It was cute. The elephant.
Yes.
Elephant.
A elephant. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
because there was a
adorable.
challah and there was like a milk
Oh,
bread
elephant. Oh,
toast.
love it. I haven't had the chance to watch yet. So what went wrong?
Oh, I mean, I was like underproofed, underbaked. You're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Give us another hour and we'll be
Yeah,
underproofed.
totally. Well, I mean, you had
I
what, three different breads that you had to do, three different types of bread that you had to have in this
I think
bread.
we had to do two,
Oh,
but
okay.
I did three. And he also like took off, which like I made a nose of the elephant, but to make it a nose, I really had to like jam that into a weird shape. And it was like over this like tinfoil mold. Like everything, all my molds and templates were so janky. They're made out of folders and just like tinfoil crumpled up. I'm like not an engineer, and it like really showed. And then, so I made this like nose, and it looks good, but like you take it off and it's got a bunch of toothpicks in there, and I just stuck it onto the face of this elephant. And that's the part I decided to eat. I just was like, why would you eat the decorative part of this elephant? He's like, yes, it's very underproofed. I'm like, eat like the other parts of the
Yeah,
body.
there's all of this other part of the elephant that you could enjoy.
did
Yeah.
you suggest that to him?
Yeah, I was like, I think the head might be better, but he was like, he ate what he ate. I was like, okay, well,
Oh. Well,
Oh, well.
it didn't seem to hurt you too bad. You got through bread week and all of the weeks ended up in the finale. How was that experience being in the finals with Kim and Daniel?
I mean, it's amazing, right? You spend so much time prepping for all of these bakes at home, and you're prepping the whole show, whether no matter how far you make it. And
Mhm.
so to be able to just show everything, I was so grateful that I got to that point so that
Yeah.
I could put everything out there that I had prepared, because I didn't get a handshake till the finale. So if I had gotten out the semi-finale, then that that would have been so sad, because I wouldn't have had that moment.
Mhm.
And so all the bakers who get off, in earlier episodes, they have these things in their back pocket, these like
Mhm.
beautiful showstoppers that they've worked on, that could have gotten handshakes, or could have gotten a Prue's like, oh, it's worth the calories, although I don't think
Mhm.
she says that anymore. um so she got some backlash. They have these in their back pocket that they didn't get to show, and so I was just like really grateful that i got I got to do everything,
Yeah.
especially my mint chocolate tart. And
Yeah.
I also told my friends, I was like, I I might be in the finale. And if I'm in the finale, you're allowed to come to this picnic. You know, you get to see the set, you get to see Paul and Prue, and Zach and Casey. And so I had a few friends who were like, okay, well, we have tickets. So you call us if you're in the finale and we'll pack our bags or not. So I got to call them after the semifinale and be like, pack your bags.
Oh,
Oh,
You're gonna be
that would be,
okay.
oh, I just got chills up my
amazing.
spine.
Amazing.
Really got chills. I was like, oh, that would be so amazing. What a feeling.
Yeah.
Eh?
And so just getting to share that with my friends,
Yeah.
bringing them to the tent so they could also get that experience.
Yeah.
You know, my husband was there. I
Yeah.
That was also really special because that's just like a moment now I have with my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
what an
wonderful.
experience.
It totally is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's both a blessing and a curse that it's in the UK, you know, with Paul
Mhm.
and Prue. Like one, you get to bake with Paul and Prue, it's so cool. But
Yeah.
it's a different kind of time commitment because you have to leave for an extended period of time. You don't get to go home and
Mhm.
you have to bring everything with you.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's a
and you
lot.
don't have like your family or anything like that near you. And so
Mhm.
it's a very different, I think, kind of commitment than the UK one. How does
Mhm.
it work for the Canadian one? Do you know if they go there and they just stay there, or do they
Fly,
go
yeah.
back home?
Fly to Toronto and stay in Toronto the whole time.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
until it's time for you to go home.
Until you go home.
Until you go home.
Forever, you're in Toronto.
You're just now you live in Toronto, sorry. That wouldn't be bad. I
Yeah.
wouldn't
Yeah,
mind
like for
that.
the UK
Oh.
one, they get to go home in
Mm.
between the shoots. And that's why they're always like, I brought this from my garden. I'm like, we
Yeah.
Yeah.
can't bring anything into the
Yeah.
UK from our
Although
garden.
Although I would think that might be difficult though, because if they're baking, let's say 3 days, they're away baking, and then they go home for 4 days, like their regular life still continues. And
Well,
I
yeah,
think
they're
Hmm.
still going to work and everything in between
Hmm.
weekends.
yeah, and I find
Ugh.
actually being fully immersed, I think it gives you an opportunity to really connect with the other bakers. But also you're so hyper focused. And we've heard this from a couple of bakers that we've had on our podcast
Yeah.
in the past, that it was just so nice to just not worry about laundry or cooking dinner or, the kids or
Hmm.
all
Yeah.
of those things. And you're just, 100% focused on doing what you love to do and really fully immersing yourself.
Yeah. Even
Yeah.
the ones
Yeah,
with small
totally.
children have said that. Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that the people with kids, I'm just like, you should win automatically. The fact that you are even got here on the show, you got small kids. I do not understand how you physically got here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no kidding. What a
Yeah.
feat. What a, yeah. Just everything that you need to do to pre-prep in advance and the time
Hmm.
commitment,
Oh yeah.
everything. Yeah, you
I
have to
think
have
that's
a
why on the
great,
show you always see people with like these really strong support systems
Mm.
because it's almost a requirement
mhm,
to be on the show. Is that when you're even I don't have any kids, so I have a leg up just from that. But there were moments when I would be like looking at my sink and there's just like so many dirty dishes, from all
mhm,
of my failed bakes that didn't even work. And so to have even my husband come in and be like, I'll do the dishes.
mm.
It's like, I needed that, or else I truly would have had a breakdown during
Oh,
the prep process.
I
yeah.
believe it. That's a lot. That's so much work. So yeah, I understand why. I mean, obviously, I understand why, but it just hits home a little bit more. Like you got to actually show them every single thing that you put your blood, sweat, and tears and your husband put his dishpan hands into, right? Like all of that work that you did, you got to show them everything. So that's
Yeah.
wonderful. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was it was it was really lovely, and getting to be there with Kim and Daniel too. I think we have like a really wide range of not just personalities but kinds of bakes, and so
Mhm.
it was also cool to see like what they were doing. Yeah, it was a really great time. I'm really grateful that I got to experience it, and I
Oh,
hope that you guys get to experience it too. You guys got to keep trying out.
We'll keep
one
trying.
day, one
Yeah.
day,
I
one
don't think I
day.
can stop. I really don't think I can stop trying.
I know every year I'm like, oh, I don't know. And then it's like, okay, I got to do this.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like you said, the audition process
Hmm.
is a whole experience in of itself, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You meet so many people, and I feel like you get better
for
in
sure.
doing it.
Yeah,
Hmm. And the
absolutely.
inspiration that you can get from seeing what everybody else is bringing to the auditions. You'd be like, oh, wow, that's gorgeous. Oh, wow, I should have done something like that. Or, oh, wow, now I want to try baking that, you know?
Yeah. And just
So
the
it's
energy.
funny. hmm Yeah, just like having everyone be excited. Um, so at our my tasting, so they do tastings in the different cities, and mine was in New York, which is very easy for me.
Yes.
And it was very funny because Kim, who I did not know, was right before me in the tasting, or maybe right after me, because I remember like taking out my cake. I don't even remember what it was, but it was like it was fine. It was like obviously got me in to the next stage, but she brought out like a gingham like tablecloth, and she brought out this like beautiful uh cake that was like shaped like a basket with a giant bunny popping out of it. And I just like looked at her thing and I was like, I should just go home. Like, what is the point of me being here?
Oh, wow. I mean, I
Both
love,
of you made it in.
yeah,
So
both of you did. But I love that we have interviewed Kim and that we've gotten to know her a little bit and that we can so see how she would be bringing that to her
Oh,
audition.
she was wearing like the cutest little dress. It was like a whole vignette. And I just was like, I was like, this girl knows what she's doing.
it's her acting background. It's her,
Yes.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, she came to the audition prepped. But it was so funny, like when we actually got on the show together, I only vaguely remembered her, but then when I saw her bunny, I was like, oh, you definitely this the one I saw at the
Yeah.
audition.
Uh,
Man. So then your imposter syndrome kicks in full gear, hey?
You have imposter syndrome. Even now,
Yeah.
I've been on the show, and I was like, and now I look at what some of the other bakers are doing, or Canadian Bake Off, which I love watching, or the British Bake Off, and you're like, wow, these people are so talented. I could never. And you're like, but I
you
did, so
did.
I should be able to do this. Even now, I completely have imposter syndrome. And I think it's because for the showstoppers, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not like making showstoppers on the weekend,
Yeah.
on the regular,
Doesn't
you know?
everybody?
Yeah, you're making a three-tiered high tower, right? With no supports. And so I think when you think about whether you could do those things, of course you're going to say, no, I can't because you haven't. But when push comes to shove and they're like, make an animal out of bread, you're like, okay, I got to make an animal out of bread. And then you do it and you surprise yourself. And
Yeah.
I think, even baking along with the show, that's the wonder of it and the enjoyment of it. It's like you just don't think you can do these things until you do them. And you're like, wow, I did that.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm getting
Yeah.
excited about the new season coming up for the Great
Same
Canadian
here.
Baking Show. It starts October 5th. So I'm like, all
Yes.
right, warm up my ovens, got to get ready because I got to do my
Yay.
bake along and terrified at the same time. Also like, oh man, do I have to do that? No, I absolutely don't have to do it, but I
But
want
you want to.
I will
It's
do
a
it.
big time commitment for you guys because, yeah, you're doing this podcast and then trying to like fit in all of the bakes in the week, like having the
Yeah,
time frame of like, oh, you have to do it this week because then the next episode's coming out.
right.
I'm sure
Yes.
it's like super stressful.
I
Some days
don't,
it's stressful.
yeah, I do not do that. I try to tackle the technical.
Yeah, do the
But
technical with me when you
yeah,
come back from your trip because
yeah,
she's going to miss the first 3 weeks of the show. But yeah, when you
Mm.
come back, Christina, we'll do the
yes.
technical.
Don't worry. We
Yeah,
definitely will. And we'll
yes.
catch up.
Well, I'm super curious if they're going to get tricky on the Canadian Bake Off technicals, because this year in the British one, they've sort of added these like little left turns into
Yes.
them,
They've
which
been doing some weird
they've
things.
never done before. Yeah,
Yeah.
they've been doing some weird things. So I'm like, oh, I
Australia
wonder if they're
does.
gonna do that.
Australia,
Oh, do
it
they?
seems to do some like really out there stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, for everything. Like what did they have? They had a gravity defying cake for their signature in like the first week or something like
Yeah.
that.
Just,
For a
but
signature?
even,
I don't even remember. Don't quote me on
I
that.
found even in your season, though, I found that there were a lot of like challenging bakes. Like the expectations, I think, just keep getting higher and higher. That bar gets lifted every single year out with all of the bakes, like the signature, what they're expecting from signatures, what they throw at you for technical bakes, and then the showstoppers are totally next level. So
Yeah. I think as the US, we're only 8 bakers, so there's only 6 episodes. So
Right.
it's a very condensed season. So I think because of that, they're trying to throw in all of the techniques
yeah.
into those 6 episodes. So like, well, okay, well, you got to make a cake, but also there has to be decoration and like a tempered component. And they're trying to like put it all together. So I think maybe that's why ours like ramps up very quickly. It's like,
Hmm.
okay, some basic stuff, and then it's like, okay, very, very quickly you got to do some complex things, which is definitely the fun part. But I remember for a while in the British one, they started getting like too wild and people didn't like it. Like I remember in Ruffles season they had to like bake outside of a fire pit
Right.
in one of the
Yes.
techno. I think they were making
That's
like
It was like
pita
a
or something.
cooking thing instead. Yeah, I didn't consider that to be baking. I was kind of like, huh, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right.
I think they took that and they were like, okay, we got to bring it back to like people are just home bakers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, and it's hard to actually keep that in mind as you're watching all of the talent on full display,
Yeah.
because you are all home bakers, but yet the things that you guys create in a limited time period, not in your own kitchen, is just
Not in your
absolutely,
own country.
yeah, not in your own country in some instances, is absolutely mind-blowing and spectacular to watch, and inspirational at the same time. But I know I'm just like in awe of the talent and
Yeah,
creativity.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be part of the family. And it's just like something I'm really going to treasure for the rest of my life. But I will say also, out of all of the like non-UK bake-offs, the Canadian one is my favorite because I love the hosts
Yes.
Yes,
and the
They're so
judges.
good.
yeah,
Like
Yeah,
I just think that the judges are so adorable together,
they
and there
are.
kind of is no bad cop. They're kind of like both good cops, which seems very
mhm.
Canadian.
Yeah, so Canadian, right?
Very Canadian. We interviewed them. I don't know if you saw that that we actually got to interview Bruno and Kyla, which was amazing. And we've been
Mhm.
Oh,
trying really hard to get Anne and Alan, the hosts. So
hmm.
maybe one of these days we'll be able to
One
have
of these
them
days.
too.
Oh, that would be so fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is my favorite of the spin-offs just because just the whole cat, and I love that it's very Canadian, right? Like everyone is from Canada, whereas like the American one is like half British, half American mishmash. Which is
Yeah.
obviously I love it, but I just like the Canadian one of like it's just so of the country, and all of
Yeah.
the technicals are very. I love it. It's
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
favorite one.
Oh, I love
Oh,
to hear
well,
that.
you and Pedro Pascal.
Yes,
Oh
Pedro
Because it's
yes,
his
Pascal,
I
right?
favorite.
heard.
Yes.
Yes, we wouldn't mind if he would come and visit. He could be like the guest host when you're away, Christina.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, okay, well, I would cancel my trip.
We would probably get a bigger audience if we managed to get Pedro Pascal to
Just
host.
maybe a few more people tuning in.
All
But
right, I
I feel
hate to
like for
cut
that
us
one you
short.
do it live.
Oh yeah, definitely. All right, we are on a time limit, so we are going to go straight into our this or that.
Oh yes.
It is time. Oh, you probably can't hear the drum roll because of my microphone that didn't
no.
the background noise. Okay, are you ready to play a game of this or that?
I am. I'm ready.
All
Okay,
right.
let's get right to it.
And coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Okay.
Black.
All
Black.
right. Oh, no. That makes it easy. It's very
Yeah.
easy to take your black coffee.
And
Yeah.
nobody
Hmm.
ever screws up that order,
Yeah,
Mhm.
right?
exactly. Black
So
coffee. That's my go-to.
easy peasy. That's awesome.
How
Low
old were you when
maintenance.
you started drinking black coffee?
Um, Probably when I turned 30. It might have been a moment where I'm like, I'm 30 now. I don't need milk.
Okay.
There's an age limit for doctoring up your coffee. I don't know. I still, if I don't have my honey and my cream for my coffee, then I don't have coffee.
Hmm.
Mm.
It's, oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
no
I'm
double
just,
doubles.
no, I'm just a
Yeah.
milk gal.
Milk, yeah,
Milk in
milk.
my coffee. That's it.
Okay, I would take milk in my coffee if that was all that was available. Yes, but never black, just because I would make faces.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I'm
feel
I'm
like
with you on that one.
I should.
So, all right. Sweet or savory bakes?
Sweet bakes.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite that you like to
Um,
eat?
that I love to, I love chocolate chip cookies.
Mm,
And I
classic.
think on the American one, they really should make people do their version of the perfect chocolate chip cookie.
Oh, yes. I think
I think so too.
that would be a fabulous signature challenge for Cookie Week.
Hmm.
Right? Because they're so different.
Yeah.
Like you can make them in so many different ways.
Mhm.
And it's kind of like the butter tart, right? Like
Yeah.
everyone has their way that they're making their chocolate chip cookie. And I mean, obviously it's very American. And that is like one of the things like in the UK when they're talking about like biscuits or cookies, they just
Yeah.
like have a very different conception of what that is. And so
Yes.
they're always like, "Oh, it's too soft. It's too soft." I'm like, "We like them soft over
Yeah.
here."
Well,
Yes.
we just had a conversation with our guest that's going to be
Famous.
on just
Yeah.
before yours. So
Yeah.
last week's guest, we
Yeah.
actually had a conversation with them about the difference between a biscuit and a cookie. And
Because he says
Hmm.
they do actually
yeah,
have things called cookies in the UK, but we
yeah.
thought that all
Oh.
cookies were called biscuits. But he said,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
the cookies are the soft ones, and the biscuits are the more biscuity ones, I guess.
And they're single note, they're one note versus the
Yeah.
cookies where you have all the additives.
All the things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all
So
the
a
things.
chocolate chip cookie would not be considered a biscuit if I have this correct in my
No,
Okay.
it wouldn't. It wouldn't.
But
What would you put in your chocolate chip cookie?
So I think by my black coffee comment, I'm a dark chocolate gal. So I put in like 70% chocolate. And I like to take the bar of chocolate and kind of chop it so that there's like smaller pieces and bigger pieces. I like my recipe has a little bit of bread flour also to give it kind of that that moistness to it and a little bit of structure. And I'm like a brown sugar and granulated sugar.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
it's sort of like all the things, but dark chocolate.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So
that's
still kind of classic, but some extra things just to make it extra special and elevated.
I love a cookie where it's a little bit crispy along the edges and
Mhm.
just browned, but the middle is still soft. And if you get it at the right temperature, it's like kind of gooey in the very
Yes.
center.
Okay. I'm
Mm.
hungry. I'm drooling again. This is not good. No,
That's fine.
so good.
I'm sure you can find something to eat in your kitchen. All right, pandan or yuzu?
Oh, I'm gonna go pandan.
Hmm.
Yeah. I think, we've had many years of yuzu, and yuzu can step aside now. Pandan can come in. But I will say I'm not a huge fan of pandan flavor extract. So if
Mm.
there's any bakers out there who want to use pandan, I highly recommend getting the leaf. You
Okay.
can get them often frozen in Asian supermarkets, like so it'll be in the frozen aisle. And all you do is you take that leaf, you can chop it up, you can blend it into cream or milk, and then you strain out the leaf part so that it's just the soaked milk, and then you can use that in cakes or whatever you want, creams.
Hmm.
That's how I like to use pandan, and it's just like it's so different than the extract. So I would say pandan, but you got to use it fresh,
That's
or you
awesome.
got to use the real thing.
And
Right.
using the pandan leaves then would and infusing it like that, would you also impart the color of
Yeah, so
of
you
the
get a
pandan
little
that
bit
way?
of the color
Okay.
because it's a grass
Yeah.
basically, and so when you do that, you get this like beautiful light green color, which you can amplify a little bit
Yep.
if you want with coloring. But I think just the plain color usually for me is enough.
Yeah. Oh,
Do you
wonderful.
do you warm up the milk or cream or do you just let it steep?
So you could I've never tried that. I just do it cold
Mhm.
and I blend the pandan into it, let it
Right.
steep,
Okay.
and then
Yeah.
strain it out because I find I would think that if you heat up the milk, you might cook the pandan.
Mhm. Get a different
Okay.
flavor.
Yeah, get a little different flavor. So I like the like highly grassy, like really fresh notes. But I don't know. I'll try it. I will
Okay.
report back and let you know
Okay.
what
Sounds
heating
good.
it
Yeah,
up
sounds
does.
awesome.
Right. Thank you.
Cool. Good. All right. Signature, technical, or showstopper? What was your favorite challenge in the tent?
Well, I mean, definitely not technical. Oh, those are awful.
What was the worst
uh,
one in your mind? What was the worst?
um, the well, the worst one was when we had to make this Hazy cake,
That's right.
and
Yeah.
yeah, which I've never heard of, which no one had heard of, thankfully. I like no, luckily no one was like, "Oh, I make those every week." Um, Well, it has like the meringue in it, which is like not my favorite thing, and then like the French buttercream. And then like after we made it, which I knew like I kind of messed up because I was like, oh, I'm gonna put like 8 tablespoons of alcohol in the buttercream for some reason because I was like, Prue loves alcohol, and I like forgot I was on a TV show, and I just was like, oh, I'll just keep adding. So I split my buttercream. And then when we had to do a feathered spider web at the top, and I know how to do that, but like in the moment, I just was like, no idea. So I just drew it on, and I looked crazy, but I just was like, my brain has gone blank, and I'm really
Oh,
tired.
oh.
So
Oh,
not
Okay,
that.
so
sad.
no to the technicals,
Mm-hmm.
Yes, no
signature,
to the
or
technicals.
yeah.
Okay.
I love the showstoppers because when else do you get to do that? Like, when else do you get
Mhm.
to give yourself the luxury of 4 to 5 hours to make this crazy structure? Like we're all so busy. So it's like it's such a treat to be like, oh, I'm gonna make this like huge monstrosity
Mm-hmm.
and just because I want to make it.
Mm-hmm. And you
Yeah.
get to do it in the tent where you've got people coming and cleaning up after you, and you don't have to sit there in your kitchen and go, okay, well, now I've created this. Now, who is going to eat it? What can I do
Yes.
with it? Right?
I mean, that is the hardest part of when you're prepping at home.
Practicing.
It's like you're
Mhm.
making these things, and sometimes you're making obviously 2 or 3 times, and sometimes it's not even working. And then you're like, how am I going to get rid of all of this, pie or cookie?
Mhm.
And so you get like really happy coworkers that like are like, oh, Adele's baking a lot. I wonder what's going on. But then actually when we were in the UK and practicing, you don't have coworkers and you don't have friends. So there were times where I built a whole cake and I was like, well, I guess this is going to go in the trash. I
Oh,
know. Because you literally were like, who do I give it? I don't know anyone here.
yeah.
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 I know Amos had said that or in another interview that I saw with him, um, that after the show was finished filming or after each challenge, then they would basically the culinary team would take everything and divide it all up onto plates, and everybody would get to try each other's stuff, and all the crew
Hmm.
would eat it and everything like that. So, I mean, there's some
Yeah, that's on set.
less waste
On set,
there.
yes,
Yeah,
But all
but
your
exactly. On
but
set,
the
we get
practice is what you're talking about, right?
practice
Even when you're in
in
the
your.
UK. Gotcha.
Hmm.
Never mind.
wow.
Rewind. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All righty. Oh, yours.
Bread week or pastry week?
Well, yeah, pastry week.
You
That's more
do.
my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what I like eating more too, just like all
Yeah.
different kinds of pastry. And it's like so pretty and beautiful. And
Mhm.
bread, I always am like, this bread is good. And then, Paul will come in and be like, well, I'm poking at it. And you're just like, I don't get it. It looks good to me.
Yeah, but it's Paul. I mean, he's probably
Yeah.
going to be the biggest critic for bread, right? Because
They'll just look at
Yeah.
you with those suspicious eyes.
the steely blue eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So pastry.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
and you were a star baker for pastry week, so
Oh,
right?
oh yes, I was.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, I think for most people, I think when it happened, we were like, oh, okay, sure.
All right. Now,
Well, we
I
know
think
this one.
we know this one.
Mhm.
So, chocolate, white milk, dark, or a different type of chocolate.
As dark as you can give it to me.
There you go. Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow. I respect it. I respect it.
Yeah, we do. We do.
Yeah.
There's, I mean, really, is there a wrong answer on that chocolate question?
Chocolate's
No,
good no matter what. Yeah.
Hershey's is the wrong answer.
What's that?
Okay.
What's
Hershey's is the wrong answer.
Hershey's? Hershey's is the wrong answer. The chocolate in the UK, though, were you able to enjoy some of that when you were over there? Because they do some great chocolate in the UK. Or, oh, I
Yeah.
saw an eye roll. You didn't like it?
No, no, it's
Oh,
that I barely got to see the UK.
oh,
We went there, and I mean, luckily I was on all the episodes, but it meant that we finished filming and I left the UK the next day.
oh, wow.
Right. Yeah.
So when people are like, "Oh, did you enjoy your time there?" I'm like, "Well, I enjoyed the 3 grocery stores I saw and the one coffee shop I went to every morning."
Yeah, it wasn't exactly a leisurely trip for you.
No, no.
Yes, but I've been there before, which I'm,
So that's good.
happy. So I've been to the country, and yes, they have amazing chocolate, and the dairy is amazing. It's just like
Yes.
hard to get used to
Yeah.
as an American, but it is vastly superior to what we
So
have
good.
here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely. Okay, baking for Tiffany Haddish or Paul Hollywood?
Oh, I mean, that is hard because baking for Paul is like a dream come true, but baking for Tiffany Haddish, you know that there is no filter on that woman. So if she don't like something, she's going to tell you. If she doesn't, she's going to tell you. So maybe Tiffany Haddish.
Oh, wow. That's
Just
so
for the
cool.
challenge of it.
Well, yeah, and just because she's like such when in my wildest dreams would I have baked a cake for Tiffany Haddish?
Yeah.
Like at least like I was like trying up for the shows. It was possible that I could bake for Paul, but like Tiffany was like not on the bingo board. And
Yeah.
so when that happened, when Tim and I got to bake for her, we
Yeah.
just were like, wow, this is amazing. And they, by the way, didn't tell us it was like a competition until we got there. And they're like, and then she's going to pick her favorite. And we're like, this is a competition too.
Oh, but probably best that you didn't know that ahead of time, right? Because then the pressure would have been, not the pressure wouldn't have been off because you were baking a cake for Tiffany Haddish. However, with the added pressure of being competition now, but she loved, loved, loved your cake, and you actually, lovingly enough, got your own little cake plate out of it too.
Oh yes, you can
It's
see
right
it
there,
The
behind
pink
right?
me
one.
Yeah,
actually.
the pink one
Yeah, that
there.
little pink one. Yeah, so I didn't get the cake plate, but I got this like lovely pink plastic cake plate
That's plastic.
that was touched by
Oh,
Tiffany Haddish. So
consolation, a nice consolation prize, right?
Very
no,
nice.
I mean
Very
these are
nice.
like amazing things. Like when it happened, I just was like, this is my life this week, I guess.
Yeah.
That's so cool. How fun
Surreal,
is that?
right?
It beats
It was
data.
amazing.
It beats data that week, right?
It
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
exactly. I was like doing that. I'm like, oh, I could be at work,
Yeah.
but I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm
So
in here
true.
baking for Tiffany Haddish.
Yeah,
There you go.
definitely. All
All
right.
right.
We are getting very short on time
Yes.
now.
Oh, Earl Grey or jasmine tea?
Oh, I would say Earl Grey for baking
Okay.
because
Yes.
I
Yeah.
love that floral note. But I actually
Mhm.
don't drink Earl Grey tea. I only drink like if
Oh,
I'm going to
okay.
choose between those, I would
Yeah.
drink jasmine.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with you though. Earl Grey, there's just something so beautiful and
Hmm.
light
That
about it.
bergamot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's very
nice. So,
lovely.
so nice.
Yes, a good one.
Okay.
All right. This will be your last question because you have also answered
Already answered the last.
other what?
She's already answered the last
She's
one.
already answered the raisins in butter tarts question.
Oh yes.
Oh, our whole like climax of the show is just like, but that's okay because we still got the answer. All right. So this is your last question. Thousand layer taro mooncakes or cinnamon canelbuller? Did I say that
Oh,
okay?
I mean, I don't know. Definitely taro mooncakes. I love taro is like one of my favorite flavors, and if I could have brought it to the tent, I would have. But it kind of takes too long to prep and
Mhm.
get ready. I don't think it's like very practical. I'm sure someone could do it, but I was like not willing to risk it. I love taro. I love the taro mooncakes, and well, I love the cannabilar, but if you like say, do you want the cannabilar or do you want a cinnamon roll? I'm like, I want a
Mm,
cinnamon roll.
that's totally fair. Yeah. No,
Oh,
that's totally cool. Lisa and I actually
don't.
first time the first time we actually
And in person.
met in person, we actually baked together, and it was the 1,000 layer taro mooncakes that we made.
Oh, really?
Well, we
Yeah.
decided ahead of time we would do the technical from that week. And
Oh,
so Stephen Levitt, our darling friend Stephen Levitt, who um, he watched it ahead of time. We did not watch the show that week. He prepped the whole entire technical for us, stripped it down the way they would strip it down
hmm
for the show, and sent us an ingredients list. And then Christine and I, we all baked it just as though we were doing a real technical.
Yeah.
I did not enjoy.
That would be very difficult. I
It
mean,
was
that is hard to
so
do with full instructions. So, with limited instructions and probably not a great idea of what it looks like, it would be near impossible.
it
That's a
was
mean
a
technical.
challenge.
I
Yeah.
lost. I lost. You didn't.
Well, no, that's not why I was shaking my head. I think it was a valiant effort by all of us to
Yes, it's true.
actually make that.
hmm
And I think the only reason, like, Stephen was the judge for this, so obviously he couldn't taste it. And then
He was
also,
in Toronto
he's
or
he was
Aurora.
in Toronto.
Yeah.
We were on the West Coast, and he's looking at it by picture, right? So he could only see what they actually look like. And I think yours were brilliantly done, Lisa. It's just your purple wasn't quite strong
It
enough,
was not
right?
very
It wasn't dark
hmm
enough. So I think he couldn't see all of the definition of your dough.
striations. Okay. You're
So
very kind.
there
But
you go.
yes, there is a limitation when you're judging via FaceTime. That
Right.
is for sure.
Exactly. But it
Well, it's
was so
almost
fun.
mooncake season, actually.
Mhm.
So if people want that, go to your local Chinese bakery in about 2 weeks, and you're going to see all types of mooncakes, including the taro one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
There
think
you
I should
go.
taste one to see what they're supposed to taste like. Well, this has been super fun. I hope we are not
This was
taking
so
too much of your
fun.
time.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I probably should run, but
Okay.
Yeah.
but thank you so much for having me on. I love talking about Bake Off.
Oh, it's so
Oh,
much fun.
it was so fun chatting with you about Bake Off.
It really was.
Yeah.
Do you have a quick baking scrap for our listeners before you go? So some kind of tip or trick that you can share?
Oh, hmm. Um, what? Oh, so I just used this actually because I was making bread because I'm baking along with Bread Week.
Yeah.
And if you are at a hotel and you see those shower caps,
Yes.
if you take those make the perfect thing to like put over your bowl when you're like
Right.
having the bread rise. So I now steal all of those that I can and I use that instead of saran wrap.
I love that too. I steal all of them too every time. Yeah.
hmm
Yeah.
And you can wash them and reuse them, so
Yeah,
that make them reusable. They're not one-time use, but they just like fit over the bowl perfectly, and you're not like fiddling around with all the
Mhm.
saran wrap.
that is a great idea.
Perfect.
Okay, perfect. I love asking for baking scraps because we get such great tips. I really am going to compile them one of these days.
Yeah, you got to make a book.
Yes.
Definitely. Yeah. It'll be a very skinny book, but it'll still be fun and very useful. So,
There you go. 101 baking tips.
yeah, we're at 67, I think now, something
Yeah.
like that. So,
Holy man.
yeah,
Decent sized book.
yeah, I
Yeah,
guess.
that's not bad. So we only have like another season to go. We'll have a
What,
101.
before we get to 101? Yeah.
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 hmm
So
Definitely.
cool. Well, thank you so much, Adela, for joining us. It has been a true honor and pleasure to have you on Baking Scraps, and we can't wait to continue seeing you bake your beautiful bakes on your Instagram channel, which is Adela Mou _bakes. And yeah, just love to see your smiley face, and again, all your talent and creativity was just wow on the last season of Great American Bake Off. So go watch it if you haven't had a chance to do that.
Hmm.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm definitely going to be following you guys while you guys pick along with the Canadian one. And I'm going to be, stealing the Canadian one so I can watch along too.
Sounds perfect.
Awesome.
And I will be waiting for you guys to be on there.
One of these days.
Hopefully one day.
One of these days.
We'll see. If
Thank you
not,
so
we'll
much,
be here.
Adela. Yeah, if not, that's right.
Thanks
You'll still be able to
again.
watch us. Thank you so much. Have a
Thank
wonderful rest of
you.
your day.
Thanks, you
Bye.
too. Bye, guys.
Bye, Adela.
Bye. There we are.
Did we, did she disappoint? No, not at
No,
all. She
not at
is,
all.
I mean, how sweet and incredible and wonderful and creative. Like
Yes.
just an unbelievable
Yeah.
baking spirit. I love our
So
baking
bubbly.
community.
I know, it's wonderful. And I'm sad that everybody had to wait this long to see our interview. And Adela had to wait for it to come out because it's been a couple of months since we talked to her, actually.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad that we're kind of back on track with that and that everybody gets to see her wonderful energy. It's still hard to find the Great American Baking Show here in Canada.
You know what? On Flavor Network, they are doing some of the previous shows that used to come on Food Network,
Yes.
or other baking networks
Yes.
or programs. So yesterday, in fact, I was lying, just
Lying
resting,
around.
lying around, and I came across a Great American Baking Show that's featuring one of our previous guests, Diana.
I know. I was able to watch the first three episodes with Diana, so I
Yeah.
was very excited about that. They've kind of put like they're doing like one episode from one season here, one episode from another season here. Um, but yeah, I think that the season that Diana was in, I think it's actually airing sequentially, so we're able to. I'm recording every single one. So that
Oh,
was pretty
awesome.
cool to be able to watch that and send her a message, be like, guess which one actually showed up on my
That's
screen.
awesome. And also
Yeah.
yesterday I saw that our buddy Steven, the Holiday Baking Championship was also on Flavor, which was a lot of fun. So, I mean, that was
So
like he was
fun.
on last season. So
Yes.
unfortunately, I don't know if most of Canada is the same way. I know with us on the West Coast, we don't get Food Network anymore. We get
Right.
Flavor. So I'm not
Yeah.
sure if that's something that's happening across Canada or if anybody has the Food Network anymore. I mean, it's still
Yeah.
showing up on it still shows, but it's black, right? Black screen.
Oh, that's
So
sad. The black screen of death.
I know. Why do they do these things? Just give us all the content. That's
All
all
the
we're asking
content.
for.
Well, we
Just
want to
give
be
us
able to
all the
see,
content.
we want to be able to see the shows from around the world because we get
Yeah,
to talk with these people from around the world and then we don't actually get to watch all of their seasons and that's kind of hard. But I know that I will be looking forward to seeing Adela pop up on my screen one of these days.
same here
And
because
I'm
she
going to
was
hunt it down somewhere,
definitely a treat. But in the
somehow.
meantime, you can catch her on her Instagram page, which
Hmm.
will provide the links in our summary.
Instagram stories. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's
Perfect.
always doing such beautiful, cool content, really unique flavors, like she did on her season of Great American Baking Show. She continues that thread through her content on her page, and so
Yeah.
really, really cool things that she does, and hopefully inspires you to get into your kitchen and try
Mhm.
some
Yes.
different stuff.
Yeah. So thank you, Adela, for joining us. And thank you, everybody, for joining us once again for Baking Scraps. We have one more episode before we are taking our holiday break, and it
So
is a
excited!
doozy. I
So
hope you will
excited!
enjoy. Thank you
Yes.
so much. And Christina, I'll see you later.
Sounds good, my friend. Take it
Happy
easy.
baking.
Happy baking, everyone.